Hey guys, it's Scott, the Digital Marketing MBA, and welcome back. This is the next step in the process, and we're going to talk about setting up the artist profile a little bit. Now, actually, for most of you that are in the group, I've been going through your profiles on Spotify today. Most of you have this pretty much 100% complete or pretty close. This is kind of basics again for those who don't. Might go a little deeper than you expected. And for those who might be coming into this class or course a little bit later and just starting out. So again, this is one of the artists that I'm working with. And as of today, when I got in here this morning, there was no background picture here. And we don't have one professionally done. Now, a couple things I will tell you. You want it to be a picture of you. And you want it to be centered. The picture, small kind of headshot, maybe torso up, centered, and try to keep a theme throughout your page that has the same standard of branding. Now, I actually don't have a professional shot of this guy yet. So what I did, and hopefully you find this helpful, I jumped over to Unsplash, Unsplash. Oh, here it is, Unsplash. And then I typed in smoking. These are all free photos that you can use. They're not copyright protected. And as you can see, there are several photos I could have used here. This is the one I chose because this actually looks a bit like my guy. He's Latin with curly hair and smokes. You could use this, obviously, yeah, because it doesn't show the face, doesn't show the face, doesn't show the face. As long as it's similar, doesn't show the face, you could get by with this until you get your professional. Look at this, perfect. Get your another one, perfect. Get your professional headshot done. A lot you could use here. You can look up Gucci. You could look up a bunch of different stuff. But I would try to have a picture of somebody that represents your artist on there or yourself on there until you get the professional shot done. Thought I'd give you that little trick. Then I took this picture here, went over into Canva, C-A-N-V-A, and just typed in. Well, let's go to it real quick. So I just jumped over to Canva and Canva, and I went, let's see here, custom dimensions, create a design, custom dimensions. And then no matter what you're creating over here on the artist profile, once you get into the edit section, it's going to give you the exact dimensions you need right here. So if you want the avatar, which is this image here, you're going to type in 750 by 750 over there. If you want this header image, you're going to type in 2660 by 1140. So we would just come here, do the 750 by 750, create a new design, and it's going to pop up some templates we could use over in this area, or just use this blank canvas right here to create our avatar. So there's a couple websites for you. Unsplash if you need some photography, and Canva if you're going to be creating anything with that photography or any other designs. So I went through and changed his avatar. I wanted to keep it kind of this black and white theme, make sure the branding stayed together. Got him in the booth, got him smoking there. Those both kind of represent his personality. That's really him. So you can see the hair kind of matches. And we'll probably do both of these professional and update them. But I'm talking to people, a lot of you right now on a budget. You're in the beginning, so I'm trying to give you everything I can to help you out. So we get those set up. We want to make sure that we have all that taken care of. Then you want to make sure that you have an artist pick, that you go in and actually pick one of your songs that you want people to listen to that's maybe new or stands out, and tell a little something about it. Talk about why it's special and keep that active and keep that rotating. Then you're going to come down to the artist playlist. Now, this is something he and I need to work on this week. Again, I'm taking you through the process of what I'm doing with all my people going into 2020. We're going to have him develop a playlist of songs and artists that he likes, and then we're going to mix one of his songs in there. This, from what I'm understanding, everything I'm hearing, is one of the most important. Your profile needs to be filled out, but if you can build a good playlist, and we're going to get into that later, but this is one of the most important things that Spotify is telling people we can do, believe it or not. So create a playlist that has a lot to do with your sound, your genre, people you like, shows your personality, and that your fans might like, and make sure that you put one of your tracks. Don't do more than that. Put one of your tracks at a time in there. Don't exceed 50 tracks. You want to keep it a decent size, but don't exceed 50. And go 30 to 50, and make sure one of them is your track. And this is one of the most important things you can do, from what I'm understanding and reading. And I'll get into that later with you guys. So then we're going to move into the about section. You've got room for plenty of photos here. I recommend you fill this up as much as you can with good photos that show your personality, that show your style. Make sure that you link. I went in and put these links in today. He did not have those linked. I did go to some of your guys's, like I said, your profiles today, and was looking just to kind of see where all of us were, if I could be helpful. We didn't have books of photos, not lots of photos there on anybody, showing tons and tons of our pictures. I think you can go up to, I'll have to look at the number, but it was a pretty high number of photos that you can put here. That's really interesting. Also, some of you did not have these filled out. I found your Spotify link via your Instagram, but I couldn't find your Instagram via your Spotify. That's a mistake. Then you're going to want to make sure that you have your bio filled out. Some of you did really well on that. Some of you, it was pretty blah, blah, blah. So this is kind of where the marketing experts come in, the copywriters come in. You want to make sure that you use some powerful words. You want to make sure that you're saying the right things. I would definitely mention any accomplishments that I have. If I performed at A3C Festival or South by Southwest, even if it was on a South stage, I would make sure I mention that, a side stage, I would mention that in there. If you've purchased a beat from someone who has produced legendary acts, I would mention that in there, that I've worked with the same producers as Snoop Dogg. If you have opened local show when YG or Gucci Man was in town, I would make sure I would say that has opened for. These are the kind of things that you want to put in there. I would put in my city's area code, my city's name, that I'm trying to make them proud, something like that. If you're a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan, you need to put in there that you bleed Dallas Cowboys. If you're a foster kid or adopted, you might want to mention that. If you have an MBA, you might want to mention that. Something for two reasons. Something, when a fan comes and reads this, they identify with you. They say, dude's got an MBA, dude went to Brown University, dude's a Cowboys fan, dude's from my old city, something in there. Then the other stuff, the kind of the professional resume, big stuff you've done, if you've done anything, and don't make it up, but if you have, that's going to help the Spotify crew too, as they read it and see that you're kind of putting in the work and you're doing a lot of stuff. So those are the reasons I would really dress this up and make it, get help. Find a good copywriter, a good marketer to help you write this and make it good and develop it. And the reason why this is all so important, you're like, Scott, you're talking to us about filling out the artist profile, is because when you submit to that editorial playlist or any other playlist, but specifically Spotify's playlist, they're going to want to see that all this is filled out, professionally done. The branding is the same. The stuff that you sent them as far as your story matches the story in here. They're going to want to see all that. They're going to click on these Instagram and Twitter links. If they start getting into, now you're down to the final 5 or 10, they're going to put in this playlist. They're going to click on here and they're going to click on these links and go check them out. They need to see that you've got a following, hopefully, because you've been working on that. But something that's going to help you also is you're tweeting out your playlist on Spotify. You're tweeting out your song on Spotify. You're tweeting out other stuff on Spotify. So listen, this is a business. They're not just looking at who has the best dang song, okay? Who is going to bring people to their platform? Who is going to keep people on their platform? Who is promoting the platform? Who, if we give an opportunity to, is going to help our platform grow and people stay on it? They're having these conversations sitting around conference tables, not just who the best daggone music is, okay? There's a lot that goes into this. So you need to build up these social followings, and you need to be pushing out Spotify stuff if you're expecting a Spotify editorial playlist to pick you up and you're a relative unknown or up and coming or up next artist. I highly recommend Facebook and Instagram being two of your big ones. And And I know some of you are thinking Facebook's out, but listen, Facebook and Instagram's the same company, right? Facebook owns Instagram. When most people log in to Spotify on premium accounts, paid accounts, do you know, I keep looking at the microphone like you guys are in the microphone. Do you know how most people log in? Through their Facebook sign in. They are data sharing partners. You're going to want to work with those that they share data with. You're going to get the best ad experience, those that they trade data with. They've got an agreement, obviously, if they're allowing people to sign in with the Facebook sign up. So I highly recommend that you're doing a lot of work on Facebook, Instagram. You can go anywhere else you want, TikTok, Twitter, all that stuff. I recommend being everywhere. But make sure you're doing something with those and that you're pushing out Spotify. Remember I said that playlist they want you to create and keep on your profile? Man, I'd be pushing that thing on Instagram stories, pushing that thing out on Facebook, Twitter, everywhere else. So I hope you guys found that helpful. Make sure you build out your profile in a professional way and think about it the way that the Spotify editorial playlist curators are thinking about it when they come to look at it. Is it professional? Is it complete? And is it pro Spotify? Does it push the company forward? Those would be my recommendations. Hope you found that helpful and a blessing.